Have you ever been scrolling through your feed and seen, I don't know, a 3,000-year-old philosophy packaged as a new life hack? Well, it's happening all over the place. Today, we're going to break down the formula for how ancient wisdom gets this modern digital makeover and what it really means for all of us.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're totally stuck on analysis paralysis, and the weight of a choice just feels crushing. It feels like such a modern problem, but what if the solution isn't modern at all?
Believe it or not, a really popular YouTube video suggests exactly that. It says the key to making better decisions doesn't come from some new app, but from a conversation that happened inside an ancient epic.
So let's dive in and see exactly how this ancient text is being positioned as the ultimate answer for some of our most common modern anxieties.
And look, they're not even subtle about it.
This isn't just a guess. The YouTube video spells it right out in its description, listing search queries like how to make the right decision and life-changing motivational video. They are going directly after people who are looking for modern self-help. So the source material here is being pulled from the Bhagavad Gita, which is a sacred Hindu text, and that itself is part of the much larger epic, the Mahabharata. It all centers on this critical moment when the warrior Arjuna is on the battlefield, completely falling apart, and the god Krishna gives him advice.
So, out of this incredibly profound, complex, philosophical dialogue, what's the one big idea that gets pulled out to solve our day-to-day problems? Well, it all gets boiled down to one single core teaching.
It takes this entire nuanced conversation and basically distills it into a single, incredibly powerful, and you guessed it, highly motivational concept.
And here it is. Karma hi shresht hai, which translates to action is supreme. This is the whole idea. The cure for your indecision according to this framing isn't to think more, it's to do something. It's all about taking action.
But hold on, because here's the really important part. This isn't just about taking any action. It comes from this deep philosophy of karma yoga. The idea is to do your duty, to make the choice you're supposed to make, and then, and this is so key, you have to let go of the results. You detach yourself from the anxiety of what happens next. You just focus on the action, not the fruit of the action.
Okay, so we've got the ancient teaching, but how exactly does a serious philosophical debate from an epic poem get turned into a piece of 21st century motivational content?
This slide just lays it out so clearly. On the one hand, you have Arjuna's crisis, this huge, profound moral dilemma about literally going to war with his own cousins and teachers. And on the other hand, look how it's reframed for us, how to make the right choice in a difficult situation. The cosmic, world-altering scale of the original gets shrunk down to our personal anxieties. And you know what? The creators are totally upfront about their goal. This isn't meant to be a religious lecture or an academic class. It is explicitly designed to be motivational, to be inspirational, a tool to help people get through their own tough times. So, if you were to actually look at how they're packaging this content, based on their keywords and goals, it would look something like this. A huge chunk of it, 40%, is just motivational speech. Then decision-making skills, and way down at the bottom, with just 10%, is the actual spiritual teaching. All right, so let's zoom out. What does all of this really tell us about how we find and consume wisdom in this day and age? Here's the bottom line. These profound, sometimes really complex philosophical systems are being transformed into these bite-sized, actionable, and super shareable life hacks that are perfectly designed for our digital world. And you start to see a pretty clear formula emerge. First, you extract a core idea, something catchy like action is supreme. Then, you reframe it as the solution to a problem everyone has, like being indecisive. After that, you package it with all the right keywords about success and motivation, and finally, you distribute it to millions on a platform like YouTube. So as we wrap this up, what's the real takeaway here? I mean, what's gained is amazing accessibility, right? Ancient ideas can now reach millions and maybe offer some genuine help. But what might be getting lost is the deep, profound context that gave these ideas their power in the first place. So the question for us is, does this kind of translation elevate us, or does it just flatten wisdom into another piece of content we can consume and forget? It's definitely something to think about the next time a guru pops up in your feed.